Previously on the Novympia channel.
My goodness, you all look bloated, stanky, and worse for wear in this one.
And coming up,
Nothing sweeter than my sugar beef.
I find you very rude. The Novympia channel is made possible by our gorgeous patrons who get access to the most unappealing crap you'll find anywhere on the whole internet.
Cue the snafu! Welcome to a brand new visual treat. Gotta be from out of town. Doesn't really work, does it?
No.
Do you know what I think that needs?
What?
A revamp.
Hello and welcome to another Eurovision 2024 video.
Yep.
My name is Nova.
My name is Olympia. Sometimes we're dressed like ladies. I've got a brand new haircut.
Divorce has brought your eyebrows down, and that has largened up your forehead.
Yes, if you are familiar with our channel, who's this?
Who's this then?
Who's this handsome face?
I'll stop that.
Aww.
You've probably rubbed all that off now. What are we
we
doing then?
have concluded our reaction videos for 2024. However, like most years, there were a few countries that kind of revisited their songs and put out little revamps. And a lot of them this year sound pretty much the same. But we wanted to revisit them, see what's different, see if that affects how we think about them. And we had a few comments on our, I think it was our Armenia Eurovision video.
Did we?
That suggested that we combine them all into one video.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing.
Which I thought
here.
was a really, really good idea. So we are looking at today Malta, Czechia, and
Albania. So they're the ones that have really had a substantial revamp. Possibly just the only revamps. There aren't that many.
Well, they're the only ones, and then there's Luxembourg as well. But we have said before how we don't feel comfortable covering Luxembourg this year. And that revamp, if anything, kind of sounded worse to my ear. So that's that on that.
I had nothing good to say about that song anyway, and it's probably now even worse. So we'll just sort of put that in a box to one side.
Throw it away in the outside garbage.
If we go through alphabetical order, should we revisit Albania?
Okay, so Albania's song was so low in my original kind of like ranking. It got to the point where I could not commit that tune to memory. I just did not know how it went at all.
So this was Zemran and Dore by Besa. And I remember saying the first time we reacted to it that I feel like there's a lot of potential to the song, but it needs work, it needs to be changed. And I kind of always took it as a sort of demo version of the song, having seen how often Albania revamps their songs in previous years.
They generally always do a revamp, and it's always kind of a conversation of, is it going to suddenly become English or not? I don't know. Did you think anything about this originally when it first came?
I only ever saw potential in it. I always said that in the state that it was presented to us in the national selection, it was no good. But there were so many elements to it that I liked, so I was really looking forward to this revamp. So now we have Titan, new name. It is in English, and there is a music video.
So yeah, if you want to see our original reaction to Albania's song, there'll be a little link up there. You can click on that.
I would say this is probably the most dramatic revamp out of all of them. It's pretty much a whole new song.
It's a different song!
Which I find really, really interesting. So, shall we give this a little watch? This is the music video. More spinning around. We're seeing this a lot.
Yeah, I don't remember listening to a studio cut of the original version. Perhaps there wasn't one, I don't remember. But I don't remember thinking her voice sounded this rich.
Sia.
She sounds like
She
Sia.
sounds so much like Sia.
Which is obviously
here.
a great thing. I mean, Sia's voice is sick.
I love this outfit. Excellent styling.
She looks great.
I love the... this is great as well. The visuals here are so great.
It's this...
This hook was present before, but now we've got extra instrumentation here that really makes it sound grander.
It's more expensive. I think the problem that I had, with it originally. Again, I don't remember hearing the studio cut, but I just remember thinking it was not memorable, not particularly original, and it didn't sound very expensive. There was just nothing about it that I could find. I don't know that I could find anything kind of good about. But
so this rap has kind of been a bit softened. In the original, I think they weren't quite sure what to do with this, and now it's found its home in this song a bit more, I think. This bit I like as well.
She's selling it. I think she did a good job in the national final. Festivalia Kungas, yeah, she almost ate shit at one point, didn't she? She almost fell over. We're not going to hold that against her, Besa. That's, everyone, does make some mistakes.
I think she looks absolutely stunning in this video. Even that when she's just like sat on that box with a laser, it's just such a beautiful dress. It's a very simple video, but I have no idea still as to how we're going to present this in Malmö, because it's beautiful to look at, it's eye candy, but it is generic. There's no themes here.
There's lots of nice sets, there's lots of nice visuals.
There's no storytelling.
There isn't really much of an identity to this song. I think it has a bit of an identity crisis. Sometimes when the revamp is in English, it does kind of strike you as a little bit of a last-ditch attempt to rake a few more points in.
Do you remember how this revamp ends?
What do you mean?
Do you remember what happens now?
I don't. You listen to this more than I... Yeah, I didn't love this part. I guess the problem for me is that I just don't love the song. However you're going to dress this up and switch it around, I just don't really love it. I don't think it's doing much.
We've got a sort of 80s tinged dance beat for the final chorus, so we have a moment to dance. I think it's so random, this edition of that dance beat at the end. It's so unexpected. I don't know how to think of it objectively, but personally, I like it. I don't know if that's just because I've got terrible taste, but it's a weird choice. I can recognise that.
Yeah, I think it's equally underdone and overdone. I think that it's, it's modest. It's like, it's not terrible, and she, I think, is a good performer. She's going to really, really sell it. I still don't think it's going to qualify. I don't think it was going to qualify before. I don't think it's going to qualify now.
I think with everything it's up against, Besa has a really hard battle to qualify. However, for me, this revamp was an absolute improvement. I listen to this a lot. I do really like this.
I do think it's an improvement. The lyrics, like the language, it doesn't really affect me either way, but it is an improvement.
I'm not sure how much the lyrics have changed since the original when we had Zemran and Dore, because I never looked up the translation for that, so I don't know if we still have the same kind of story of being strong and not giving up and being a titan in disguise. I don't know if those themes were there originally, but currently, now that all is said and done, I have this sitting. This just scrapes in at my top 20. This is 20th place for me, which I think is probably quite a lot higher than it would have been.
This scrapes in my top 30 at number 30. I'm sorry, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just don't ever think of it. I'm sorry, Besa darling, I'm sorry. Should we talk about Czechia?
Yeah, sure. So we're just going to do like little mini reviews, because like we said, we've already touched on all of these songs before.
We'll move on to Czechia.
So there were a lot of eyes on Czechia.
This is a bit different. Now, a lot of eyes for a few reasons. I think that when Czechia's national final rolled around, people were really looking at this one as probably the front runner. Until we saw the live. Everyone who's seen this live knows that it was not the best live performance ever. There was a lot of shouting, but...
It was unfortunate because for those who did not watch the national selection, they were unaware that these issues were present for every single act.
All of them.
National selection. There was not a single act who sounded good. So it was not a reflection necessarily on Aiko's performing skills.
Yeah, we knew that we would have to take that with a pinch of salt and wait till we see something else. I really, really like this song.
The studio cut was always good.
I liked the studio cut, and I think when we watch this, I think it's not a huge revamp. They've not done a huge amount. They've removed the swear. She said bullshit, and they've replaced it with once did, which makes sense if you know the whole sentence. But it's not the biggest revamp. I think it just sounds a bit clearer. I think it's lost a tiny bit of its grit sonically in favour of something which sounds a little bit maybe crisper, perhaps for a more general audience. I don't know. Would you buy that?
I feel like in general, she's changed the way she performs this song, both in the studio cut and in person. We've seen a performance of her from the Spanish Eurovision party, and instead of kind of approaching this from a rock chick point of view and giving it that more shouty attitude, she is now singing. It's much more melodic, it's a lot softer in the vocal, and that is present on this new studio cut as well. So it is a different performance. The song itself is very similar.
It's very, very similar.
But the actual delivery of the vocals
is too much.
Is
but
different.
We have seen her do this live now, and I don't think that's as much of an issue as it was before. I'm fine with the way she sings this. I think that was literally a one-off, like we thought it would be. You can't just say she's terrible just based on one performance when clearly it wasn't the best setup.
So we have, I believe it's the same music video with new scenes recorded.
That sounds correct.
Ico, pedestal.
It just sounds clearer to me.
That kind of bass line has got a nicer, richer tone to it.
Yeah.
But it's so subtle.
Oh, if this came on, you probably wouldn't notice.
But she's got a much softer vocal delivery, and I don't know if people are going to like that or not like it. Again, it's subtle.
Well, but if it works in a live setting better than... Because the last time it did sound like she was shouting. This is such a good song. Learn to hurt myself.
Because even this now is so much more melodic. It's not got that shouty edge to it.
Yeah.
Hurt myself.
I love me more.
Love me more, love me more, love me more than you once did.
So we were wondering how she would eliminate bullshit in this, and I like that. I think that works.
I would have preferred used to. That rolls off my tongue a bit easier. More than
I
you used to.
prefer that. I think your suggestion's terrible.
That's how I would have phrased that, but this is fine.
Oh, is it? It's fine, is it? Let her know. I think, this is when a revamp is appropriate. If you have to sort of change the lyrics around for rules.
Yeah, just take the opportunity to head back in the studio, just give it all an extra layer of shine.
Just tighten it up a bit and just maybe improve it just a tiny bit. The problem with basses is if you need to do that much to it, then you don't have the song, do you? Like, it's never going to be a winning song if you have to just change everything about it. So this is good. I think this is solid. I don't think she's going to qualify. Again, it's just because there's too much that they're up against.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this bit though. I really hate that bit.
I like it for the music video. I don't like that it's been included in her live performance and on streaming.
I think that music videos that cut the song in the middle for some kind of scene or whatever is the most jarring, irritating thing in the world.
This I like.
The fact that that's baked into the song. It is in the song, isn't it?
Yeah.
The talking bit. I hate that with a passion.
I will be loving me more.
That's great. She has a vocal moment.
This is great. This instrumental is so good.
Chance to belt something out. And we've heard her do that, and she can do that very well. She can do this bit, the kind of screech bit, whatever that woof was you just did. She can do that, So this is good. With the exception of the talking bit. God, how annoying that.
It's funny to
on the
see.
toilet.
You can, it doesn't look like a toilet. You can tell which scenes have been added in because her hair is like a couple of inches longer.
Oh, hilarious.
I think it's an improvement. Again, I just think that spoken word argument that interrupts, we do not need that on stage. We do not need that in the stream. It's fine for the music video.
I think it takes something which has a real edge to it and it just makes it feel just cheese. There's a bit of cheese to it.
I don't even mind the interruption, but let's just have silence. Let's not have the talking. Let's just have like the record scratch, and then we can start to have like the bass line coming in slowly again with the loving me.
But
it doesn't need that argument.
At this point, it's too late. They're not going to do another revamp, are they?
Well, no, but they could still cut this out in Malmö.
Do you know
where the toilets are?
I love this song. It's 10th. It's in my top 10.
You are a ridiculous person.
Great. It's great. It's great.
I have this 25th.
What? That's rude, isn't it? That's a bit rude. 25th?
Yeah.
You've got it lower than Cyprus. There's just no taste, is there? There's no
Maybe
accounting.
it can go higher than Cyprus.
There's no accounting for taste. Let's talk about Malta, because this is my favourite of the revamps. I love this so much. There's something so joyous, and I don't know. Now, I said this in a video before. Was it this or was it Georgia? I used the word amusing. I don't know. There's something that makes me smile so much about this song. Maybe it's that dance where she does that chicken bit. I don't know what it is, but we put this on in the car all the time, don't we? So this is Malta, Sarah
we listen to this a lot.
Benici, Loop. This was the only option, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe Denise. There was one or two you could maybe have a word with. But this was basically the only option in the Maltese national final this year.
If you are somebody that watches all of the national finals and you follow the songs from the moment of release, this has had a really, really, really messy release. I don't understand what the Maltese delegation is thinking with this. It's been all over the place. Not going into any details, but we now have the final version of this song. The old version, I don't even think was ever on streaming, was it? We had a music video for it.
Maybe because they knew they were going to do this. The old version was just very...
It took a long time for this song to end up on streaming, and I think we now finally have this revamped version. It's probably in between the level of revamp of Czechia and Albania. It's not quite as dramatic as Albania, but it's a lot more than Czechia.
Yeah, so it's had... First of all, it sounds so much more expensive, perfect, great. And to be fair, this song really is just pop song.
Just a slice of pop.
Generic slice of pop. Generic sounds rude or it sounds cruel or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be, because we're going to listen to this. We listened to Erica Cody. What was that one?
Love Me Like You Do.
No. Was that what it was called?
Love Me Like I Do.
Generic as the day is long. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means it's not great for a competition. That's what this is.
I don't even necessarily know if that's true. It just means that it is what it is.
It is what it is.
A lot of pop music in its purest form is just
what
pop
it is,
music for the sake of pop music. And that's fine.
It was never really going to do anything. But I do think that with this revamp, with the choreo, which we've seen her do a number of times now, and she can sustain a very good vocal and do the choreo.
She can. So we have now seen her sing this live also.
Oh, it weren't bad.
This was a very good live vocal, sustained throughout quite intense choreography.
Oh my God, she got me on.
So there's a few new lyrics in this. There's a few new melodies in the chorus, and just overall a layer of polish on the production. We have the same music video with new additional shots added in, a la Czechia.
Yeah.
Should we give it a watch?
Let's give it a watch, because I love this one. I sing this all day long, as you well know. Oh my God, she got me on. Oh, get into it. I'm sorry, Sarah Benici, get into it.
So this intro, I think, is all new.
No.
The scenes with the contacts, I think, are new as well.
Yeah. I think that this is another video where money's been thrown at this. I think it looks great. She looks great. There's a whole bunch of outfits. Great. There's a bit more of an identity to this than I think Albania's has. I think she's been done dirty in the edit for this video. I'd love to have got my hands on this footage and just kind of like grit it up a bit.
I think the whole point of this video though is just to look hot. It's just selling sex.
Sure.
Because the whole point of the song is just about having this guy who's obsessed with you. So
yeah.
Oh my God, you got me on.
Do you know what? Call me insane. I know she's opening the semi, but call me insane. I actually think there's a tiny bit of wiggle room for her to qualify. Oh, I know people are going to be saying, oh, you just like it. You're so stupid. I wouldn't write this off, because if she can nail that choreo, she does that flip, doesn't she? It's infectious.
Yeah, I think in a televote only semi as well, that will work to her advantage.
Oh my God, in spades. Now this sounds... Who can you imagine like releasing this song? You can imagine this on the radio, can't you?
I've seen a lot of people compare this to Dua Lipa.
Okay. You can imagine it.
Got me on loop.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's not, but it is. Oh.
I think the choreography, we mentioned before that in the national final it was giving slow-mo vibes a bit too much. I don't read that at all anymore.
It does not give that anymore.
And I don't even think there's been a lot of changes to the choreography, but what there has been is enough.
They've been smart with it. They've been smart. She looks red hot.
I don't even know if it's the choreography, you know. I think it's the blocking has changed.
I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get back in the dance studio. She's great. I think people are really underrating Sarah Benici.
Here we go again.
Oh. Stop this now. Oh.
I love that as well.
This is my song of the summer. I've decided. I'm going to have this on. You know, we're playing badminton in the garden.
It's a great party track.
Oh, stop
And this
it.
bit. It's such a satisfying structure. It feels like a whole complete song. I'm not left wanting
It
like
feels longer
another
than
chorus.
3 minutes.
It
as well.
does.
They've done something to this which is so clever because it doesn't leave you wanting. Bow.
They've done really, really well with the structure
Smart.
of this song. They've used
Whoever
this 3
was in
minutes
charge of
very
this,
well.
whoever did the production on this song, the whole team just rallied behind this and they were like, listen,
In
we've
like
just
the
got-
last hour, the
all we've got
versions
is a
of this
slice.
song that we've had.
All we've got is a slice of pop and we need the whole pie. Honey pie.
Yeah.
She says that. It's a bit dirty, that, isn't it?
I think she says honey pot, doesn't she?
Honey pot. What's the lyric? I'm your honey pie. Oh, is
I
it
think
honey
it's
pot?
I'm sure it's pot.
Nothing sweeter than my sugar beef. Okay.
I'm your honey pot.
Oh, maybe it's honey
nothing
pot.
sweeter.
I think she's talking about her honey pie, but regardless, I would like to see what that looked like on a menu.
It's
Sarah
kind of
Benici.
interesting to see how this song has evolved because it's not usual for a pop song like this to kind of be developed this much in the public eye. It normally happens under wraps, behind the scenes, and then you just get the final result released. But because of the journey this song has been on, we've kind of seen several versions of it grow and change, and that's been very interesting. But I can see how, like, within the fandom, that might have turned a lot of people off because they still have their first impression of it in their heads.
Yeah, but again, let us remind you that the fandom is such a tiny percentage of who's actually going to be voting for this.
Yeah.
And I think she is going to... I don't know. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I can see it. Oh, I can see a path. What do you think? Are any of the revamps, palatable to you? You
Where
listen to
have you
them?
ranked this?
Oh, it's probably first.
I have this the highest out of all 3 songs that we've listened to today. I have this 18th.
Loop. I've got it 13th. That's high.
That is high.
That is very high.
I
don't
remember
care.
when the revamp came out, we both looked at each other and we're kind of just like, oh.
I had to take the day off. Got me on loop.
Right. There is a possibility that other countries will do something special for Eurovision as a surprise. We often see that, maybe like a surprise dance break or outro, intro, something like that. We don't know, but this is what we have been presented with.
The UK, please, can you do that?
Yeah, can we do... I'll tell you what we need from the UK. I'm going to tell you right now. This is what we need. Ollie, if you're watching this, this is what we need. And please listen. We need that first chorus needs to be shorter.
Yeah.
Chop it in half. Use the rest of that time to do something more
At the end.
at the end. So after the spoken word bit,
You can then go into Space
we do
Man.
not want the chorus to come back so soon. It needs to be something else new before the final chorus.
Listen, let's talk about revamp. I mean, I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility that they will do that. They did that with Spaceman. There was a little bit of a sort of reimagining when it came down to it. So it might happen.
But it often happens with other countries, like Armenia last year. We had that dance. Everyone seemed to be doing dance breaks last year.
Awful.
Blanca also did something with Solo. She introduced something that wasn't in it before. So there's often surprises.
Let's leave you on Blanca. Thank you for coming for this Novympia Eurovision treat.
What do you think of these revamps? Do you care? Did you listen to the originals? Are they improvements for you or not? Let us know in the comments.
Feel free to subscribe if you're new around here. Why not? It's like just there.
Yeah. We have still got some Eurovision content coming your way this season over on Patreon. We're going to be doing our qualification prediction videos. And then right here on the channel, we still have our national final just missed it favourites that
Yes.
we're going to be doing, as
And our
well
top
as
10.
our combined top 10 for
Our
the
top
year.
10. For exclusive crap from us that you can't get here, then head over to the Patreon. The address for that will be arriving on screen just now.
Loop.
Oh my god.
What you gonna do with all that ash?
You got me on. I was just thinking about how else you can just like, oh yeah. Oh, there's also a Twitch.
Yes.
Or you can join us for game night, for
Yes.
gaming and for game night. That's lovely. We're going to go now and talk about maybe our dinner plans. mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Lovely mac and cheese. Do you remember that mac and cheese woman?
Who the hell doesn't love macaroni? Mac and cheese?
No. And a honey pot of mac and cheese to our newest patrons. Nathan, Emmeline the Gremlin, Scary Clary, Nicholas Elwood, Kazza T, and Charlie Pooters.
We're over the end card.
Right.
But I will have sent you the clip of mac and cheese. Lovely mac and cheese. You know it. You remember.
Really frightening.
You remember her?
No.
Okay.
Join the Patron, we'll do a shot of Patron.
Just like a legendary creature.